Hello, welcome to my channel, another Bibliophile Reads. My name is Greg, and I am here to do an announcement of two horror-related events going on in May. The first event is Horror Mayhem. This event is the second year it is happening. It was created last year by the bookish Bryants. Unfortunately, the Bryants have to bow out this year for personal reasons. But the rest of the hosts are gathering together, and we are going to make sure that Horror Mayhem does continue for its second year. And this is an event that encourages people to read all sorts of horror, especially short horror. Roughly 250 pages or less, probably to include some short stories, because horror is really good at short stories. There are going to be no prompts this year. Last year there were 4 prompts, but none this year. It is a free-for-all. Whatever you want to read that's horror related and roughly 250 pages or less, just go for it. The second horror event is created by Michael Romeo Talks Books. He is on a quest to get people to read 20th century books. And each month he has a theme. And May's theme is horror. So if you read a horror book that was written in the 20th century, you are participating in his event, or can if you want to. You can join his Discord server. So a lot of the books I will be showing do cross over and count for both events. Now, the first one I'm going to do is for Horror Mayhem, which will also include the 20th century books, and that is to read a killer animal horror book. I did this last year. And last year, I had my viewers vote on the killer animal book that I am going to read. So I'm going to show a selection of 6 books, and all the viewers get the option of voting for which killer animal book that I read. Of course, the book with the most votes is the book that I will read. I will be the tiebreaker. So the first option is Crabs. And this is the sequel to Night of the Crabs. This is Killer Crabs. It is about giant crabs eating Welshmen. You know, they eat crabs, so crabs eat them. Lair by James Herbert. This is the sequel to his absolutely fabulous novel, The Rats. And it's, of course, about rats. The next option is The Spiders by Richard Lewis. This is a book about killer spiders. I don't know if these are giant spiders or normal size spiders or just big spiders. It's a book about spiders killing people. Venom. This is a book about a killer snake. As far as I know, this is just about one snake. Looks like a king cobra. The Pack by David Fisher. This is about killer dogs. As I understand, this is about abandoned pets on an island that go wild and start eating the islanders. Squirm by Richard Curtis. This is a novelization of a movie about killer worms. You would think worms are harmless, but not when they get into an electrical field or something like that. So in the comments below, tell me which killer animal I should read. Crabs, rats, spiders, snake, dogs, or worms. I believe there is an emoji for all these animals. And any one of these books would also count for Michael Romeo's event. The next one I'm going to read is some short stories. And I'm going to be reading some short stories from Clive Barker's Books of Blood. I may or may not read this whole collection. I do have a couple other options for short stories. I don't know how I'll do it, but one is August Derleth, Mask of Cthulhu. He was sort of a contemporary and friend of H.P. Lovecraft. Another possibility for short stories is Robert Bloch. Michael K. Vaughan just talked about Robert Bloch. And he's an excellent author, horror author. And these are collections of his older horror short stories. And then I'm going to read a couple of short novels. This one is Set, Keeper of Children by William H. Hallahan. I'm not sure what this is about. The booktuber Bad as Rad sent me this book in a gift package, and I want to make sure that I get to it. So this is definitely one horror novel that I'll be reading. It is only 189 pages, and it was written in the 70s. I have a few more options for books. I don't know which one of these books I'm going to read. Panzer Spirit by Tom Townsend. This is about an evil ghost tank with Nazis. I saw it on Michael K. Vaughan's channel, so he is 100% to blame for me picking up this book. I don't think he's read this book either, but he was someone sent it to him as a gift, and I decided to seek it out on the internet, so I should possibly read this one. Another possibility is The Godsend by Bernard Taylor. This is about an evil child, and there's nothing better than a good evil child story, so I don't know. I'm torn. Nazi ghost tank or evil child? It's too many choices. And again, both these will count for Michael K. Romeo's. And then I am going to listen to an audiobook. It is The Fisherman by John Langan. This does not count as a 20th century book, but it would count for Horror Mayhem because it's just about 282 pages. You know, just a skosh over the 150 limit, but that's okay. You can go over the limit every now and then. So that is my basic reading plan. I would like to squeeze in one contemporary horror short novel. I have not picked one yet. I will probably be looking at my other hosts and seeing what they are reading. And maybe I will find one that strikes my fancy and take one of those. But that is my plan. I have a lot of reading to do in May. Besides these two events, I'm also doing May of the Moderns. So I will have to see what other horror stories or novels I can squeeze in. And do remember to vote on the killer animals. Thank you very much for watching, and keep on reading.